Welcome back to WION World is One. You're watching Speed News with me, Vidur Kathuria. Let's get started. At least 9 Thai soldiers have been killed, over 120 wounded in a reignited border conflict with Cambodia this week. This is according to Thailand's Defence Ministry. The two sides have accused each other of initiating the latest clashes. They broke the peace deal they signed in October in the presence of US President Donald Trump and Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim in Kuala Lumpur. Washington has expressed concern over the deadly clashes, and Trump is expected to speak with the leaders of the two countries. The US House of Representatives passed nearly $1 trillion defense bill, 2026 National Defense Authorization Act, which sets Pentagon policy. The bill, expected to pass for the 65th consecutive year, includes funding for troops, defense programs, and international initiatives. Key provisions include $800 million for Ukraine's military over the next 2 years and support for NATO allies in the Baltics. It also ensures US troop levels in Europe remain above 76,000 and fully funds Israel's missile defense systems. The bill now moves to the Senate for approval. The United States has seized a large oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. This comes amid escalating tensions between Washington and Caracas. Speaking to US reporters, US President Trump described the vessel as the largest one ever seized and hinted that additional actions are underway. A fleet of US military aircraft was spotted at the former Roosevelt Roads in naval base in Puerto Rico's Ceiba amid rising tensions with Venezuela. Officials say the deployment is part of an ongoing US military build-up in the Caribbean following months of pressure on Caracas. This includes strikes on suspected drug smuggling boats, threats of military action, and the designation of Venezuela's Cartel de los Soles as a foreign terrorist group. Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro has demanded an end to illegal and brutal US intervention in his country amid ongoing US naval deployments near the Caribbean. Speaking to reporters in Caracas, Maduro called on Washington to stop interventions across Latin America. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has said that since US President Donald Trump took office in January, about 152,600 migrants, including non-Mexicans, have been returned to Mexico. Trump has focused heavily on immigration enforcement, deploying federal agents to major US cities and turning away asylum seekers at the border with Mexico. The administration has repeatedly highlighted its push to deport undocumented immigrants, a move that has drawn protests nationwide. The United States has flown nuclear-capable bombers over the Sea of Japan, teaming up with Japanese fighter jets in a coordinated show of force. Tokyo says the joint mission came directly in response to recent Chinese and Russian military drills in the region, which have raised tensions around Japan and South Korea. Japan's defense ministry says both nations reaffirmed their resolve to stop any attempt to alter the status quo by force and confirm the readiness of their forces. Peru's foreign minister has said that the country is reviewing a proposed memorandum of understanding with the United States on critical minerals. Speaking in Lima, Peru's foreign minister said Washington has expressed strong interest in Peru's resources, which are vital for technological development, and has asked for a framework to allow closer cooperation on minerals, infrastructure, and security. The discussions come as the US seeks to secure key materials for advanced technologies while strengthening ties with resource-rich partners like Peru. US President Donald Trump has announced that early next year a global announcement will be made regarding the leaders chosen to sit on the new Gaza Peace Board. Trump described it as one of the most significant boards, with heads of major countries expected to participate. This board will be part of Trump's broader peace plan for the region. The US brokered ceasefire in place since October 10th ended the war sparked by Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel. However, the truce remains fragile, with both sides accusing each other of violations almost daily. Russian air defenses shot down 31 drones headed towards Moscow on Wednesday evening and overnight. This is according to Moscow's mayor Sergei Sobyanin. Sobyanin reported that emergency crews were dispatched to check debris on the ground. No injuries or damage have been reported so far. Russia's Civil Aviation Authority said operations were suspended at all Moscow area airports, while Pulkovo Airport in St. Petersburg handled flights diverted from the capital. Several other airports in central Russia also temporarily halted arrivals and departures. Ukraine has released footage showing sea drones hitting a tanker it says was moving Russian oil through Ukraine's Black Sea economic zone towards the port of Novorossiysk. Officials say it's the third strike in 2 weeks on what they describe as Russia's shadow fleet, a network of unregulated ships believed to be helping Moscow move oil and sidestep sanctions. According to Ukraine's security service, the Dashan tanker was racing at top speed with its transponders switched off when explosions tore into its stern, causing heavy damage. Portugal is bracing for its general strike in 12 years as the country's two main unions rally against a new labour reform package from Prime Minister Luis Montenegro's centre-right government. Hygiene crews and metro staff were among the first to walk off the job overnight, manning picket lines in Lisbon. The government says the reforms will modernise and add flexibility to the job market, but unions argue they undermine workers' rights, highlighting limits on flexible hours for breastfeeding mothers, reduced miscarriage leave, and easier dismissals. The 24-hour strike is expected to disrupt transport, airports, schools, and hospitals in Portugal. The UN assistance mission in Afghanistan has warned that the Taliban's ongoing restrictions on women and girls are undermining their fundamental rights. In a statement marking Human Rights Day, the UN emphasized that human rights must be treated as essential for dignity, opportunity, and security. The mission highlighted that many Afghans still lack access to education, healthcare, and employment, with women and girls facing the harshest restrictions. Pakistan is considering relocating former Prime Minister Imran Khan from Adiala jail in Rawalpindi due to growing protests and tensions between the government and his party PTI. A senior Punjab government official said that authorities are evaluating options to move the PTI leader to another facility, with the district jail Attock under consideration. Prime Minister's coordinator for information said protests outside Adiala jail have disrupted local life, accusing PTI leaders of trying to spread chaos. Meanwhile, PTI plans to hold a national conference later this month to discuss Pakistan's ongoing issues and present a new national agenda. Large crowds gathered in central Sofia for a major anti-government protest ahead of an expected vote of no confidence. The demonstration come after the government withdrew its 2026 budget plan following nationwide protests over planned tax hikes to fund higher spending. Protesters near government buildings demanded Prime Minister Zelenski's resignation, with many signing petitions calling for the government to step down. Bulgaria's parliament is set to hold a no-confidence vote today, the sixth such vote since the Prime Minister's government took office in January. A major oil spill has occurred in Brandenburg in northeastern Germany following an accident at a pipeline supplying the PCK Schwedt refinery. Emergency crews are on site. Authorities report no injuries and say refinery operations are continuing as normal. Officials confirm that large amounts of oil are leaking from the pipeline, though the cause and exact volume are not yet known. The pipeline runs from the Baltic port of Rostock to the Schwedt refinery, the crucial fuel supplier for the Berlin-Brandenburg region. At least 12 people have been killed in a residential fire in the southern Chinese city of Shantou. This is according to state news agency Xinhua. An investigation into the cause of the fire is ongoing. Eyewitness videos show motorbikes speeding past the scene while residents watched and firefighters worked to control the flames. Bolivian anti-drug officers were attacked in Villa Tunari, Cochabamba after dismantling 10 mobile cocaine labs. During the operation, police seized vehicles, motorcycles and arrested 7 suspects, along with chemicals used for drug production. Authorities report that a crowd surrounded and assaulted the officers, demanding the detainees to be freed. Police deployed tear gas, which officials say followed standard riot control procedures to protect personnel and prevent the situation from escalating. The regional head of civil protection in Fez, northern Morocco, says the rescue operation is now over after 2 buildings collapsed, claiming at least 22 lives. Officials confirm that all victims have been recovered and no one else is missing. Authorities are now concentrating on securing the site and investigating what caused the tragic collapse. The Election Commission of India has revised the timeline for the special intensive revision of electoral rules in West Bengal. The final publication of the rule is now scheduled for February 14, 2026. In an official order, the ECI said the extension was necessary due to the large-scale enumeration work and the need for proper verification and rationalization of polling stations across the state. According to the revised schedule, house-to-house enumeration by booth-level officers will conclude on December 11, 2025. Residents of the Pacific Northwest are preparing for another round of heavy rain, flooding and possible evacuations after a powerful storm struck the region on Tuesday. The National Weather Service reports rivers across western Washington are rising, with some areas in the Cascade Mountain Range seeing rain rates near or above half an inch per hour. Tuesday's storm caused power outages, flooded roads, and school closures in Oregon and Washington. Fire officials say crews used inflatable kayaks to rescue people trapped by rising waters. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has acknowledged that some young users remained active on social media a day after the world-first ban on under-16s went live. Despite the law, which requires major platforms like TikTok, Instagram and YouTube to block underage users or face up to $33 million in fines, many teens claimed they were still on the sites. Albanese said the rollout would be bumpy but defended it as necessary, asserting the ban is designed to protect children and ultimately save lives. The law has broad support among parents and political parties, but government says full compliance will take time as platforms scramble to build age check systems. Apple has released its annual list of the most downloaded apps and games for the year. For the US market, OpenAI's ChatGPT topped the ranks of free iPhone apps with the most installs in 2025. The AI app was followed by Threads, Google, TikTok, WhatsApp, Instagram, YouTube, Google Maps, Gmail, and Google's Gemini. Last year, ChatGPT made it to number 4, and the top spot was taken by Chinese shopping app Temu. In 2023, the AI app didn't even make it to the top 10 list despite being released on the iPhone in May 2023 to a strong debut. Adobe is integrating Photoshop, Adobe Express, and Acrobat apps into ChatGPT, allowing users to edit images, design graphics, and manage PDFs within the OpenAI-owned chatbot. The move reflects a broader push by software makers to tie everyday tools into conversation and AI platforms and tap into more users while reducing the need to switch between different applications. The rollout will bring many of the popular features that are available across Adobe's applications to ChatGPT's more than 800 million weekly active users, expanding Adobe's search as it ramps up efforts to adapt to AI-driven changes in professional design markets. Asian markets advanced as the Federal Reserve slashed rates by 25 basis points, boosting global risk sentiment. Japan's Nikkei 225 and South Korea's Kospi were among the top gainers, while broad tech and financial stocks led the upside. The region's mood improved as US equity markets rallied, with the S&P 500 and small-cap indexes posting strong gains, encouraging Asian buyers. Investors are cautiously optimistic, waiting for further signals from global markets and looking for sustained momentum as bond yields fall. Oil prices climbed after the US seized a sanctioned tanker off Venezuela, sparking concerns over potential disruptions to crude supply. Brent futures rose about 0.4% to nearly $62.5 a barrel, and US crude gained a little over 0.3%. At the same time, large-scale stockpiling by China absorbing surplus crude is helping masking signs that global demand growth may be slowing. Analysts warn that while recent gains reflect geopolitics and precautionary buying, underlying oversupply and tepid demand growth, especially from major buyers, could dampen prices in coming months. Mexico's lawmakers have approved new import tariffs up to 50% on goods from China and several other Asian countries. The sweeping tariff package targets a wide range of imports including automobiles, auto parts, textiles, plastics, and steel, especially from nations lacking a free trade agreement with Mexico. Officials say the move is meant to protect domestic industry and reduce dependence on low-cost foreign imports. But critics warn it risks raising consumer prices and disrupting supply chains that rely on Chinese components. The shift is widely viewed as a strategic alignment with the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, or USMCA, trade agenda, as Mexico seeks to shore up support ahead of the pact's upcoming 2026 review. Sports now. Liverpool forward Mohamed Salah is a target for clubs in the Saudi Pro League. This was confirmed by Chief Executive Omar Mugharbel. The 33-year-old was left out of the squad for Liverpool's victory over Inter Milan in the Champions League after a public fallout with manager Arne Slot, as well as the club. The comments were made after Saturday's 3-3 Premier League draw at Leeds. Salah also said he has been blamed for Liverpool's poor form and his relationship with manager Arne Slot has broken down.